SVG-TV News headlines sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow is bringing you the best Christmas deals. Unwrap great prepaid deals like the ZTE Blade A3 Lite for $99 with a 7-day always-on plan purchase. Plus, get a free gift. Amazing postpaid deals start with a Samsung Galaxy A10s at $149 plus a medium postpaid plan with unlimited weekend minutes to talk, and talk this holiday. So this Christmas, get the latest phones at the best prices on the fastest network. Because with Flow, Christmas only gets better. Visit discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
In the headlines, victims of domestic violence encouraged to put their perpetrators to shame. St. Lucia Prime Minister expresses faith in longevity of CIP. Turkey stalls NATO-Russia defense plans for Eastern Europe over Syria. And in sports, Cornwall takes spectacular 7 to give Windies the edge over Afghanistan in their inaugural test in India. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports.
That was the news headline sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow is bringing you the best Christmas deals. Unwrap great prepaid deals like the ZTE Blade A3 Lite for $99 with a 7-day always-on plan purchase. Plus, get a free gift. Amazing postpaid deals start with a Samsung Galaxy A10s at $149 plus a medium postpaid plan with unlimited weekend minutes to talk, and talk this holiday. So this Christmas, get the latest phones at the best prices on the fastest network. Because with Flow, Christmas only gets better. Visit discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Wednesday, November 27th, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Minister responsible for Gender Affairs, Project Stevenson, is calling on the police to treat domestic violence reports as matters to be dealt with urgently. He was speaking on the occasion of the Elimination of Domestic Violence Day, observed on Monday under the theme, Orange the World, Generation Equality Stands Against Rape.
Just encouraging the police to take these reports of domestic violence very seriously, because that is the only way we can investigate them properly, and that is the only way we can try to stop the culture of domestic violence, which includes rape. Because if there's not a case made out, the statistics just go up, and people would believe that as a norm. You know, I can get away with this thing.
The minister noted that recently he received a report of an attempted rape and the person was reluctant to make a report to the police, which is an issue of concern.
Today, someone called me and told me a young lady working at a particular institution just hitched a ride with somebody she knew. And before the vehicle could move off, he had his hands trying to touch the girl, feel up her breasts and that sort of stuff, and so on. And she came out.
Minister Stevenson said that victims of domestic violence, particularly women, need to be more brave and put their perpetrators to shame so that they can change their ways.
The person who gave me the information said her supervisor said she didn't want the police to become involved. But I said to her, and I said to the supervisor, let her go to the police and report this matter, because he can do that and may have been doing that to several other persons, and we have to nip it in the bud and stop it. And so I believe she's gone to the police station this morning to report that matter. I will hear further of it in due course.
The Gender Affairs Division and other organizations have started a 16-day activism to bring awareness to domestic violence. The activities will end with a rally on December 10th. And the women's arm of the opposition New Democratic Party in a news release said in spite of the material and technological strides that humans have made over the years, the curse of sexual violence continues. The group's president Maureen Bracken said that the theme for International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women 2019, Generation Equality Stands Against Rape, is very significant in helping persons to recognize the importance of breaking the silence and spreading the message that gender-based violence is totally unacceptable, noting that the education of citizens is sex offenders registry and no-nonsense enforcement of the relevant laws have become critical and imperative. The group said the government too has a role to play in terms of bringing justice services closer to communities, activating and reinforcing structures and dynamics of justice to help strengthen the capacities of the police, judicial investigators and prosecutors to work with offenders and victims of sexual and gender-based violence. SVG has many health programs that promote healthy lifestyles, and few outstanding programs were highlighted as praiseworthy. These were identified by Pan American Health Organization Country Program Specialist to SVG, Nicole Slack-Lyberg, who was speaking at the recent launch of the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence.
Grenadines, I have noted some key initiatives that are in existence and I think should be applauded when it comes to gender equality. Sexual and reproductive health services in the form of contraception and information, for example, are physically available at health facilities throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As we try to empower and change some societal norms which sometimes regard sex and sexuality as taboo, your Adolescent Policy and Action Plan 2017-2022 speaks to providing health and family life education, which includes sexual health.
The PAHO rep also praised SVG for the work it has been putting in to meet the UN Sustainable Development Goal 5, which is to improve the overall health of citizens.
I see that the Sexual Crimes Unit, in just about 1 year of operation, has investigated 174 cases and made 90 arrests. I am also particularly pleased to see that its focus is not just on prosecution, but also on education at schools and also with parents. So to Commissioner John, I encourage you to continue to record statistics and monitor trends which can inform not only policies and programs at your unit, but those at the wider community level.
Lyberg said she also noted the programs initiated for men, which is a plus for the country.
And against rape, we are confident that the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action of 1995, almost 25 years ago, with the goal of gender equality, did not only target the efforts of women. If we look at the crude definition of generation, it refers to people born and living around the same time. I also note that a symposium was also held where a discussion on shattering the social expectations of a successful man was also held. The calendar of activities for 2019 further demonstrates the importance of providing information to inform change. Some of these activities include the training of mandatory reporters, including police officers and nurses.
Cerebrovascular accident, which is the medical term used for a stroke, is the leading cause of disabilities in adults worldwide and the second leading cause of death. With this in mind, medical practitioner Dr. Josie Davey is encouraging persons here with diabetes and hypertension to ensure they follow their regimens, which will prevent them from having a stroke.
Practices will help to reduce the factors.
Well, of course, because it's going to reduce your hypertension and your blood sugar. So Of course, dieting is important for everything. Think of yourself as a hollow tube. So whatever affects the body has to come from the outside. If it's respiratory, you get a virus or bacteria, then you get sick. If it's gastrointestinal, you intake bad food, it's going to affect you. So always think of what is coming. But none of course, there are diseases where your body attacks itself. But for most parts and most of the medicine, it's some external force that acts on us that makes us ill, except for the autoimmune diseases.
Dr. Davies said that there are two different types of stroke with varying complications such as behavior changes, speech difficulties, numbness, pain, and paralysis. She explains what to look for to protect a family member who might be having a stroke.
So there are two types mainly. That's the infarct where the tissue dies, and then there's a hemorrhagic type where there's bleeding in the brain. So most persons having a stroke, they have some risk factor, hypertensive, diabetic, blood pressure goes up, a vessel may pop, and then you have a bleeder. For the infarcts, that's where the oxygen is not getting to the tissue of the brain itself, and then that portion dies. Of course, we know that the brain, it helps with different body parts, so depending on where the lesion is, then that body part is affected. So let's say you have a lesion on the right side of the brain, then you may find that the person has left-sided weakness or total paralysis. For strokes, you can also have people with aphasia, and this is where they are unable to verbalize, they can't talk. That's also another presentation of a stroke. So if someone, you notice that you found them unresponsive, they're not moving aside or a side is weak, that might be an indication that a stroke is happening or pending. We have strokes that resolve within 24 hours. So the person is weak, yes, but then they come back to normal strength within 24 hours. And that's what we call a transient ischemic attack. And then, of course, if the symptoms prolong, then we just use the term CVA, which is cerebrovascular event.
The infectious disease specialist explains the different risk factors that causes strokes.
That the blood vessels get thick when you have high cholesterol, but it acts as like plaque. And how I like to explain it to patients would be, think of a pipe and you're pouring oil in it all of the time, and then the oil solidifies. So what happens is that on the inside that's building up and it narrows the lumen of the vessel. So then your blood has to fight a little bit harder to push through those vessels, and that's what happens with really high cholesterol. Okay. So it is also a risk factor.
All right.
Smoking, yes, excessive alcohol consumption, all of these things come in as a risk factors. Family history of CVA, yes, risk factors.
Okay, and
Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries calls for all hands on deck to further develop the fisheries sector. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
Local news sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow is bringing you the best Christmas deals. Unwrap great prepaid deals like the ZTE Blade A3 Lite for $99 with a 7-day always-on plan purchase. Plus, get a free gift. Amazing postpaid deals start with a Samsung Galaxy A10s at $149 plus a medium postpaid plan with unlimited weekend minutes to talk, and talk this holiday. So this Christmas, get the latest phones at the best prices on the fastest network. Because with Flow, Christmas only gets better. Visit discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
Star Limited is now located on the third floor of the First St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products to furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the First St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
a funeral service should be one that you can be proud of. One that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
Breaking news! The greatest tile sale in the history of St. Vincent is back. With more, here's Thin Setment Rowdy Face.
Thanks, Juan. Yes, free tiles for Christmas is back at Island Style Interiors, and there's real excitement in the air. Get this, buy 100 tiles at the regular price and get up to the next 25 tiles absolutely free.
Wow, that is a great deal.
Sure is, Juan. My wife's making me buy tiles right now before they sell out.
Vincent? Oh well, this is one cool guy signing off and heading to Island Style in Arnos Vale for free tiles! Wait for me! Yay!
Kidney disease is a growing concern around the world and here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Chronic kidney disease is a life-threatening condition which occurs when a person's kidneys are no longer able to clean the toxins and waste products from the blood or perform other kidney functions normally. When this happens, a person needs dialysis. Dialysis is where a machine takes over the function of the kidney and safely removes the poisonous waste from the blood. Since 2012, Health Solutions Inc. has operated a full-service hemodialysis facility in SVG that offers state-of-the-art equipment, courteous, well-trained staff, and a comfortable treatment environment.
We're encouraging for early detection. Anyone who is either diabetic or hypertensive and has any questions or concerns, please contact us at 784-451-2836 or visit us at www.healthsolutionsSVG.org.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz, Quartz Optical, Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
Welcome back. Fisheries and livestock production are areas which can bring tremendous financial returns to the country, and all hands are needed to ensure they continue to grow and flourish. So says Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Soboto Caesar, in Parliament yesterday. Minister Caesar was referencing the fisheries sector as a green shoot, given what he said is the positive numbers it continues to generate in terms of the value of fish caught. He said there is a need for further investments to improve the capacity of fisher folk, which the private sector can get on board with.
45 more. And Rainforest wants to buy $20 million worth of fish. It means that we have to put in an investment of between $3 or $4 or $5 million into equipment and infrastructure infrastructure and boats and engines and all these kinds of things, because what you don't want taking place is when the fisherman comes in and Rainforest offers him a few more dollars per pound, that it creates a situation whereby we don't have the liberties in terms of the supply as we are accustomed to. So we are looking to make that investment, and I'm really calling on the banks and the credit unions and the cooperatives to look at the possibilities from the private sector standpoint and not just only rely on the envelope that will be provided by the government.
Minister Caesar said livestock production is another area which shows good potential for growth, and that work will be done to create a livestock production unit to help facilitate this development.
And as it pertains to livestock, another very important subsector whereby we can see exponential growth, the exportation of goats, pigs, and cattle. And I know that there are a lot of persons who are participating in the national discussion as to what we are going to do to increase the production and productivity of the livestock. Well, the vet department as it stands cannot handle this sort of project, and a livestock production unit is going to be put in place because we need to triple our production. But I am happy that between these two subsectors, once we keep at it, we can see a significant increase in employment, production, productivity, and our export numbers.
The Agriculture Minister said with the developments in these sectors, the local food input bill continues to be chipped away, noting that in 2017, the input bill was $209 million, while in 2018, there was a reduction of $1 million. Minister Caesar, however, noted that this is not enough and work must continue to reduce the bill even further.
Some persons usually speak about the regional food import bill, which is spiraling out of control, but as we are noticing, the story is quite different in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we need to commend our farmers, our agro-processors, our manufacturers, and our farmers for the excellent work that they are doing, and there's a lot of work still to be done. I want to use these statistics to encourage our farmers to buy local, to substitute some of the imported fruits for local fruits, and for persons who are into agro-processing, we need to process more of our juices. We need to do more in juices, jams and jellies, peppers, seasonings, because we are still importing significant quantities of these commodities.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves in Parliament yesterday called on lawyers to do the right thing as he refuted a claim that there is a very high rate of adjournment of civil matters in the magistrate courts due to perceived difficulties faced by or with court-appointed bailiffs not being able to serve summons. The Prime Minister was responding to a question on the issue posed by opposition Senator Israel Bruce, who is a practicing lawyer. The question raised the issue of bailiffs not being able to serve summons, thus resulting in persons having to return to court very often. PM Gonsalves said no service according to statistic is not a major issue, and that what seems to be creating the problem is requests being made by lawyers or parties to suit. He used statistics from the Kingston Court to illustrate his point.
In the Kingston Court on the 26th of September, matters disposed of 88%. Unknown address 3%. Defendant not located 1%. Defendant migrated 1%. No returns 7%. Matters in the Kingston Magistrate Court 3rd of October, matters disposed of 78%, and similar numbers to what I've said before. On the 10th of October, 82% disposed of. No returns, 2%. Migrated, 2%. Defendant not located, 3%. Defendant not with the workplace, 3%. More information needed, 3%. Defendant out of the state, 2%. Unknown address, 2%. Mr. Speaker, on the 17th of October, matters disposed of, 79%, and similar sets of numbers. 31st of October, 74% disposed of.
While thanking the court and the bailiffs for their work, the Prime Minister said he is opposed to persons hiring their own bailiff.
I've said enough to show. I've indicated what has happened in the fourth bailiff. I want to praise the bailiffs for their good work, and for the magistrates in addressing these matters, and the chief magistrate who had to double up for doing important work. Will the Prime Minister be open to the idea of permitting litigants to choose their own bailiffs to effect service of these summonses, Mr. Speaker? I don't know if this is the official position of the government, of the opposition, but I'd be reluctant to encourage this. Perhaps persons have been seeing too many films with bounty hunters. We're not going the way of bounty hunters at all. Those who want to do that can go and do that, but we would not sanction that. Given the information I've given, Mr. Speaker, there is no reason for me to commission some study over a 4-month period and to bring that back. I've given the information which is required.
The Prime Minister further stated that lawyers should desist from using adjournments as a means of collecting fees.
Speaker, it is time that the lawyers, generally speaking, stop using adjournment, requests for adjournments, as a mechanism to collect fees. They don't get all the money, and they request adjournments after adjournments until they are paid. We are talking about the question speaks, Mr. Speaker, of the very high rate of adjournment. There are no sacred cows, you know. There are no sacred cows. There are no sacred cows. It's not that they can't pay the bills. The lawyers are gouging out the clients and they don't pay any income tax. I want to talk about it. I'm very glad for this question.
In other news, 70 persons are to graduate tomorrow, Thursday, November 28, 2019, after training in 3 hospitality courses geared to the hotel industry. The courses were organized by the Adult and Continuing Education Division, ACE, of the Ministry of Education, in food and drink service, soft furnishing, and drapery and housekeeping. Program Officer of the Adult and Continuing Education Division, Leroy Rock, said the programs are to assist persons seeking work in the hotel and tourism industry. The programs were offered in Zone 3 and 7 from Kittels to Barreley. The graduation ceremony will take place at the Wesleyan Holiness Church at Camden Park with guest speaker, former Tourism Director Vera Ann Britton. The 2019 Nine Mornings Festival will be launched this Sunday, December 1st, 2019 at Heritage Square. The activities this year are coordinated by the new chairman of the National Nine Mornings Committee, Orani Bomani Charles. Charles said that Sunday's launching event will be packed with activities, which will kick off with a parade in capital Kingston, led by the RSVG police band.
A street parade around Kingston from 6 p.m. It will be led by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force Band, and followed by various community groups and organizations responsible for organizing Nine Mornings and lighting up community lighting up activities in various communities around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll be also featuring the return of the much in-demand 9 mornings train, an initiative put on for the first time last year by the 9 Mornings Committee along with Scarlet Steel Orchestra.
The first community lighting up activity will be held in Coors Hill on the leeward side of the island on December 7th. And Charles said there are a number of new categories added to the competition this year.
We also we are reintroducing this year in Kingston the best decorated show window. We are also reintroducing the category of best lit building, and these are all in attempts to encourage buildings and businesses, private and state businesses, buildings in Kingston to begin to light up again and sort of return Kingston to that Christmas capital of the Caribbean sort of feel. There's also an attempt to get songwriters more involved, singers and songwriters more involved through an initiative called Bring Your Song and Come. So every morning at the 9 Mornings Kingston program, we're encouraging persons to come on stage, bring their guitar or an accompaniment or write a song and come and present it. And at the end of the festival, we'll have prizes for outstanding songs.
Another aspect of the 9 Mornings Festival is the 9 Nights, which will be launched on December 15th at the Botanical Gardens.
And as it evolves, you have these different features, and 9 Nights, I think, is one of those that have really come into its own, and it's become a really big attraction for Vincentians and visitors alike coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, having an opportunity to visit the Botanical Gardens during the evening when it's dark and the lights are turned on. It's a spectacular sight, and a lot of programming for families. So it's a really fun atmosphere that's created there, and they've been really working really hard to put additional lights and beef up the programming. So this year, persons can expect just a tremendous experience at Botanical Gardens every night.
That brings us to the end of the local segment of Whole News. St. Lucia Prime Minister expresses faith in longevity of the Citizen by Investment program. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.
Was a local news segment.
The Everready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Everready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Everready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Everready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy, drink today. Juicy, juicy, same great taste. Juicy, juicy, the original drink. It's a Vinci thing. Get your red and banana, pineapple, juicy cola, orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original Vinci thing. Juicy. Oh girl, you have a gift for me?
Este es un regalo. Todo este gran regalo.
Is it a card?
To open this gift, just give that phone a little shake.
Shake it, that's right.
I can't believe it. How?
Don't kid yourself,
It's the Anglican Archdeaconry of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Advent Mission Service on Sunday, December 1st at the Honnesville Playing Field to mark the beginning of the church's year under the theme Anglicans Prepare for the Coming of the Lord through Intentional Discipleship. The preacher will be the Reverend Pauline Ramsey Burns out of the Diocese of Northeastern Caribbean and Aruba. It's the Anglican Advent Mission Service at the Honnesville Sporting Complex on Sunday, 1st December at 9:30 a.m. All are invited.
This is how we do it.
Black Friday is back and so are the deals. Make sure you shop in just Aeropost it. Amazon New York, Alibaba, eBay, Fashion Nova, Target, Forever 21, K and much more. All at Aeropost. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday.
This is the season to wish one another joy, love and peace. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a New Year full of blessings. Best wishes from our directors, management and staff at Quick Cash Corp. Merry Christmas.
Still going to town for hardware? No, you don't need to. Pinchers Hardware in Pembroke. It's your one-stop shop for all your hardware needs. We stock building materials, blocks, sand and stones. Also plumbing and electrical fittings. We have automotive supplies too. And to make things easy, we will deliver to your location. Come on in or simply call us at 458-7591 or 533-1576. We are open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pinchers Hardware, located in Pembroke, where quality meets price.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz, Quartz Optical, Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
The festive holiday joy is flowing early this year. Have yourself a merry little Massey Christmas. Enter with every $50 spent and you can win amazing prizes such as a luxurious, comfortable and ultimately relaxing cruise for two with all-inclusive paid flight. Set sail to explore and discover the beautiful gems of the Caribbean, one island at a time. Bon voyage and travel in style and sophistication aboard a majestic cruise of a lifetime. And wait, there's more. This Christmas, exciting prizes such as a shopping spree with the value of $500. But don't worry, consolation prizes include weekly ham and turkey giveaways. Check out our Facebook page for more chances to win. See press and in store for more details. Happy holidays from Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. In news from the region now, we heard that St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastney has expressed confidence in the longevity of the investment migration. This confident outlook on the future of the Citizens by Investment programs was made at the recent Global Citizenship Conference in London. We hear more in this HTS News report.
Prime Minister Alan Chastney does not believe that citizenship and residency programs are going away anytime soon. He made this assertion during the 13th Annual Global Citizenship Conference in London earlier this month.
First of all, I think, disabuse people's ideas, if anybody has it. I'm sure most people in this room are convinced that citizenship is a model that's been around for many, many years and will be around for many more years. And even when we hear some of the comments from the more developed countries trying to some way say that this is not a good program, let's just take this country as an example. If I am a star athlete from Africa and a football club is willing to invest $10 million in giving me a contract or developing my skill set, I qualify to become a citizen of this country. So it exists. The criteria is what's going to change around the world. And I think that that's why, in the case of St. Lucia, we've looked at it from the prospect of adding value.
Chastney conceded that there is minimal desire by applicants to have a second passport for security reasons. However, the Prime Minister told the audience that citizenship and residency programs must add something in order to attract applicants.
One of the largest applicants of our program are Americans. We go, why would Americans want a St. Lucian passport? Well, when they're traveling abroad, they don't want to have a U.S. passport. And they feel more secure in having a St. Lucian passport? Does that make them a terrorist? Does that make them that they're trying to escape something? They're trying to deal with the reality of the world today. And sometimes holding a different passport gives you access to things that you wouldn't necessarily have in your own country. And that is something that has existed since the time immemorial. And I think it's going to continue to consist. St. Lucia's perspective on CIP is that we believe that countries need to be able to show substance. We think as the world becomes more aware of these programs, people are going to want to see substance.
It should be noted, China dominates the list of top 10 nationalities among St. Lucia CIP participant countries with 106 citizens. Iran and Syria are second with 42 nationals in St. Lucia's citizenship program. Cumulatively, from 2016 to 2019, 30 applicants from the U.S. have been approved. Prime Minister Chasney, though, is adamant that security standards are kept and meet regional and global compliance.
Still in St. Lucia, there are some good news for pro-cannabis activists. The island's commerce minister says things will be looking good for them in the new year. We hear more in this NBC News report.
October, Cannabis Movement Chairman Andre Pancho de Queiroz told NBC Prime that the Cannabis Commission, formally launched to the public last week, had a hopeful timeline of the end of 2019 for full legalization. On Tuesday, Commerce Minister Bradley Felix disclosed that the December 31st timeline, as stated during last week's launch, was for the submission of a draft proposal to the Cabinet.
That draft proposal will guide the decision by Cabinet eventually. So I would not make an announcement on the rollout, but would rather be advised based on the draft proposal that we received.
Nonetheless, we wanted to know whether the minister believes the outlook is good for pro-cannabis advocates.
I think so. I mean, the kind of feedback and the responses that we have been getting does suggest that the manner in which we saw cannabis is really archaic and outdated, and with all of the new medical evidence as it relates to the benefits, not just from a medicinal standpoint but from industry standpoint, it does look good. But like I said, I would not give you a yes.
Minister Felix reiterated that government is aware of global trends where the cannabis industry is concerned.
And in fact, I was just advised next week there's a very huge cannabis forum in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend, but it will actually have several booths indicating to people what can be done with the cannabis product. So people who are looking at that industry as in terms of a business should really follow what's happening internationally, because there are lots of opportunities, not just from the growing for medicinal use, but for a number of range of products. So it would be advisable.
Quite a number of countries in the OECS and wider CARICOM are either in the process or have amended various laws in anticipation of getting their respective shares of the spoils of the cannabis industry.
In Barbados now, the government has been given a passing grade by the Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan Monitoring Committee in its most recent review of the country's progress. As we hear in this CBC News report, the committee identified a few areas for major improvement as the country prepares to head into a new year.
Co-chair of the BERT Monitoring Committee, Ed Clark, government has contained expenditure, allowing it to meet the commitments under the BERT program. And he says there's been a solid start to government's requirement of increasing the primary balance to 6% of GDP for 2019 to 2020. And Mr. Clark adds that the committee was also pleased government had agreed to the process of debt exchange with the island's external creditors.
That's a very positive sign for Barbados. We believe it will increase investor confidence. It will certainly improve the confidence level of all people doing business in Barbados, knowing that we no longer have this noose around our neck. We have come to an agreement based on what government has advised, and we expect that things will be settled going forward. We now need to assess the impact of that debt settlement over the future years. We have been assured by government that the net reserves target will still be achievable based on the settlement that they've agreed with these creditors. And I have no...
However, it was not all positive, as Mr. Clark indicated that there has been a low level of capital expenditure by government. Now, capital expenditure basically refers to the money spent on major infrastructural initiatives such as road construction. And Mr. Clark says while $87 million had been budgeted up to September this year, only $37 million of that amount was actually spent, representing a gap of just over $50 million.
Capital expenditure in the right direction, I may add, will stimulate the economy. It will stimulate employment and will stimulate the economy in general. So we need to see the government improve on this expenditure and applying the resources in the right areas.
That was all news from the region. Turkey stalls NATO's Russia defense plans for Eastern Europe over Syria. This from the international scene. When we return, stay with us.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
The festive holiday joy is flowing early this year. Have yourself a merry little Massey Christmas. Enter with every $50 spent and you can win amazing prizes such as a luxurious, comfortable and ultimately relaxing cruise for two with all-inclusive paid flight. Set sail to explore and discover the beautiful gems of the Caribbean, one island at a time. Bon voyage and travel in style and sophistication aboard a majestic cruise of a lifetime. And wait, there's more. This Christmas, exciting prizes such as a shopping spree with the value of $500. But don't worry, consolation prizes include weekly ham and turkey giveaways. Check out our Facebook page for more chances to win. See press and in store for more details. Happy holidays from Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Vallejo Experience. We cater for all of your psychological needs. We promote holistic wellness, balancing the mind, body, and spirit. I am Dr. Giselle Miller, CEO and founder of the Vallejo Experience. Contact us today. We are willing and ready to serve you.
May your holiday season be filled with joy and delight as you celebrate with your loved ones. We at Heritage Dental wish you a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
Happy holidays from Heritage Dental.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at QCare Pharmacy. QCare leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. QCare Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz. Quartz Optical. Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Couriers Distribution Limited.
For over 60 years, we have sought only the best beans grown in the lush hills of the Andean mountains of Colombia. Coal Cafe. We carefully select only the very best beans and roast them to delicious perfection by our experienced roast masters. Coal Cafe. Coal Cafe treats you to one of the finest coffees in the world, available in classic and decaffeinated. A rich flavor and aroma that can only come from 100% 100% Colombian coffee. Cold Cafe. Indulge yourself in our delicious cappuccinos available in classic mocha and French vanilla. Enjoy them hot to warm your soul or cool to cool you down. Either way, they are incredibly satisfying. So go ahead, enjoy Cold Cafe and treat yourself.
Let's go further afield now. Turkey refused to support a NATO defense proposal for Poland and the Baltics until the intergovernment military alliance offers stronger political support to combat a Kurdish militia group in northern Syria. NATO requires formal approval from all of its 29 member states to deploy its military plan to defend Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland in the event of a Russian attack. Not having Ankara's approval could delay the defense process. After being questioned on the matter, a NATO spokeswoman said their commitment to the safety and security of all allies is unwavering. Meanwhile, the UN said nearly 200,000 people have been displaced by Turkey's offensive in Syria, ironically dubbed Operation Spring Peace. We hear more about their plight in this CNN report.
Class should be in session now. But here in Hasaka, the school has become a temporary shelter for displaced people. In one classroom, we meet Ibrahim Hassan. The Kurdish father of 5 tells us he was forced to flee his home in Ras Al Ain with his children when the Turkish military operation began. This is what remains of his house. Ibrahim says it is one of many in his Kurdish neighborhood that was deliberately ransacked by Turkish-backed forces.
They took everything, and after they took all our belongings, they set it on fire and burned it all.
Just days before the offensive began, Ibrahim's children had posed smiling with U.S. troops patrolling the area. He says America's presence gave him a false sense of security. Then suddenly, they were gone.
Since America betrayed us, every time I look at these photos of my children with the Americans, I want to erase them.
Do you feel that you trust the Americans still? هل تثق للأمريكان؟ أكيد لا. Definitely not.
Now we hear and we see on television America saying that they're only here for the oil. Why did Trump do this? You've betrayed all the people.
It's a sentiment we found shared by many here. Nearly 200,000 people have been displaced by Turkey's offensive. Hundreds of their homes have been damaged or looted. Local authorities are now trying to move them out of the schools so that class can start again and into hastily built camps like this one. Conditions are bleak and resources are scarce. Because of the security situation, international aid agencies have had to pull out, leaving the Kurds with no one to rely on but themselves.
So she's saying it's really difficult here because it's very cold, especially at night. They don't have enough food, they don't have electricity, and the water's not good.
Camp organizers say there are 3,000 people living here now, with more arriving every day.
Almost everyone in this camp is from the town of Ras Al Ain. And Ras Al Ain used to be around 75% Kurdish. Now, though, we're told there are just a handful of Kurds left. And the people here believe that the ultimate goal of this Turkish offensive is to essentially push the Kurds out of this area completely and change the ethnic makeup of it forever.
Turkey has done little to alleviate their fears. As the Kurds have poured out of these areas, Arabs have been bussed in. Syrian refugees who Turkish authorities claim are originally from these areas. After more than 8 years of civil war, this part of Syria is full of stories of people forcibly displaced.
Well, that's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
Let's go! Turn up the fun!
with Chocolisto and its great flavor, enriched with vitamins and minerals that help you grow.
Chocolisto makes you big and strong.
The weather report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Budgemart's big sellout is back and still has the best deals. Baguette bread pans, now only $29.95. 5-piece cake pan set was $84.90, now $63.70. 4-piece non-stick cake pan set was $55, now $39.60. 3-piece non-stick pan set was $29.20, now $21.90. Short motion bins was $297.55, now $223.15. 6-piece aluminum pot set was $450, now $350. Tall motion bin was $423.64, now $317.75. Real deals, real savings, and no gimmicks. When every dollar counts, shop at Budgemart.
The local weather forecast, it is fair and hazy, winds east-northeast at 19 kilometers per hour. Temperature is 27.5 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity is 81%. The barometric pressure is 12.6 millibars. 24-hour rainfall 2.5 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature is 29.8 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature is 27.0 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 5:35 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:09 a.m. The forecast, it is partly cloudy and slightly hazy with a few scattered showers. The synopsis, weak unstable conditions are affecting the islands.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Budgemart's big sellout is back and still has the best deals. Baguette bread pans, now only $29.95. 5-piece cake pan set was $84.90, now $63.70. 4-piece non-stick cake pan set was $55, now $39.60. 3-piece non-stick pan set was $29.20, now $21.90. Short motion bins was $297.55, now $223.15. 6-piece aluminum pot set was $450, now $350. Tall motion bin was $423.64, now $317.75. Real deals, real savings, and no gimmicks. When every dollar counts, shop at Budgemart.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
This is how we do it.
Black Friday is back and so are the deals. Make sure you shop and just Aeropost it. Amazon New York, Alibaba, eBay, Fashion Nova, Target, Forever 21, K and much more. All at Aeropost. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday.
Welcome to the evening sports. We hear that Afghanistan failed to capitalize on an encouraging start in the inaugural test against West Indies as spinner Rakeem Cornwall took 7 wickets on day 1. Cornwall claimed magnificent figures of 7 for 75 in only his second international as Afghanistan was bowled out for 187 in India, having been 84 for 1 at one stage. Cornwall's first innings figures was the best by a West Indian spinner since Jack Noriega's 9-95 back in 1971. The Windwards recovered from the loss of 2 early wickets in reply, closing on 68 for 2 with John Campbell and Shamar Brooks, the unbeaten batsman. Campbell 30 and Brooks 19 steadied the ship with 7 boundaries between them and will look to press on when they resume play tomorrow. West Indies emerging players survive a crushing 10-wicket defeat to Group A winners Trinidad and Tobago Red Force on Monday to qualify for the semi-finals of the Regional Super 50 Cup. In a lopsided affair at Queen's Park Oval, the impressive development side was rolled over cheaply for 78 of 27.1 overs, and Red Force hardly raised a sweat in overhauling their target in the 18th over. Emerging players who started the match second in Group B and on 18 points needed a victory to confirm their spot in the semi-finals, especially with Guyana Jaguars in third spot on 16 points, breathing down their necks. But Jaguars suffered a shock defeat to Meadows United States at Brian Lara Stadium, allowing emerging players to escape unscathed. Choosing to bat first, emerging players suffered a huge batting meltdown, and only all-rounder Justin Graves displayed an impressed with 43. In fact, he was the only player in double figures, striking 5 fours in a 69-ball knock. A leg spinning captain Imran Khan 3 for 19 and fast bowler Anderson Phillip 3 for 23 ranked the innings with 3 wickets apiece. Spinners Akil Hussain 2 for 17, a leg armour, and John Ross Jacksar 2 for 29, and off-break bowler supported with 2 wickets each. In reply, Jeremy Solazano struck an unbeaten 43 from 59 balls with 5 fours and a 6, while fellow left-hander Keegan Simmons in the first match of the series finished on 27 not out of 47 balls. The Los Angeles Clippers made its 6th straight wins after Kawhi Leonard and Paul George helped see off Luka Doncic and the Red Hope Dallas Mavericks. Leonard had a game-high 28 points and George added 26 of his own as the striking Clippers beat the Mavericks 114 for 99 in the NBA on Tuesday night. George scored 17 of his points in the opening quarter to help the Clippers improve to 13 for 5, while Lou Williams contributed 21 points from the bench. The Mavericks 11-6, who were also riding a 5-game winning streak prior to the clash, were led by Doncic's 22 points in Dallas. Doncic was coming off a franchise record streak of 4 games with at least 30 points and 10 assists, following in the footsteps of Michael Jordan, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. However, the reigning Rookie of the Year was stopped by the Clippers of home coach Doncic, finishing 4 of 14 from the field and 0 of 8 from the 3-point range. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets were too good for the Washington Wizards, 117 for 104 in the day's only other game. Nikola Jokic put up 8 points and 20 rebounds, and Jeremy Grant had a team-high 20 points for the Nuggets in Denver. The evening sports will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
Tourism is for me. Tourism is for you. Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah, live it, love it, embrace it.
LA Unique Upholstery. Quality at a low cost. We build to suit your needs. Contact us at Redemption Shops 457-0182 or Stony Grounds 453-2089.
The body moves in many expressive ways. The freedom of movement is often taken for granted until that freedom is restricted by pain. Maya's Pain Kill Gel is scientifically formulated to alleviate muscle and joint inflammation. With this gel, you can target the pain in areas where it's needed the most. Bring the joy of movement back into your life with Maya's Pain Kill Gel. Available at leading stores and pharmacies in SVG.
I think I have enough lumber for the fence. Just hope I have enough saw blades at home.
Well, you don't need more lumber, but you do need some galvanized nails. And maybe grab some saw blades just in case.
For all your hardware needs and the best customer service, Lanes, the family store for value.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la.
The festive holiday joy is flowing early this year. Have yourself a merry little messy Christmas. Enter with every $50 spent and you can win amazing prizes such as a luxurious, comfortable and ultimately relaxing cruise for two with all-inclusive paid flight. Set sail to explore and discover the beautiful gems of the Caribbean. One island at a time. Bon voyage and travel in style and sophistication. Aboard a majestic cruise of a lifetime. And wait, there's more. This Christmas, exciting prizes such as a shopping spree with the value of $500. But don't worry, consolation prizes include weekly ham and turkey giveaways. Check out our Facebook page for more chances to win. See press and in store for more details. Happy holidays from Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
This is how we do it.
Black Friday is back and so are the deals. Make sure you shop and just Aeropost it. Amazon New York, Alibaba, eBay, Fashion Nova, Target, Forever 21, K and much more. All at Aeropost. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz. Quartz Optical. Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
Welcome back. The first semi-final in the Richland Park football tournament was staged yesterday afternoon at the Richland Park Oval, where J&D Strikers went up against Flicks Wakanda. Wakanda won the semi-final bout convincingly, 7-1. The scorers for Flicks Wakanda were Jason Frank 1, Kenneth Marshall 2, Kilton and Francis 1, and Earl Spencer 1, Dan Laborde 1, and Randy James 1. The lone goal for J&D Strikers, was converted by Shanshi John. The competition continues tomorrow with the second semi-final playoff between Quebec's Pride and Joy and Greg's FC at 4:30 p.m. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, will support the toughest sanctions on individuals found to have manipulated data at a Moscow laboratory as Russia faces the prospect of a global sporting ban. A World Anti-Doping Agency WADA panel recommended the Russia Anti-Doping Agency be declared non-compliant against over inconsistencies in anti-doping data discovered during an investigation. WADA's Independent Compliance Review Committee recommended strong sanctions be imposed on Russia, including a 4-year ban from competing in and hosting major sporting events. Russia athletes may once again have to compete at neutrals at the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo and be prevented from competing under their flag at the next Winter Olympics. WADA's Executive Committee will consider the CRC's recommendation at a specially convened meeting in Paris on December 9th. An IOC statement said on Tuesday condemned the incident, noting that the flagrant manipulation is an attack on the credibility of sport itself and is an insult to the sporting movement worldwide. The IOC further stated that it will support the toughest sanctions against all of those responsible with the manipulation. And that brings us to the end of this evening's sports. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us.
Oh, God, you have a gift for me?
Este es un regalo. Todo este gran regalo.
Is it a car?
To open this gift, just give that phone a little shake.
Shake it, that's right.
I can't believe it. How?
Okay, do yourself.
It's the Anglican Archdeaconry of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Advent Mission Service on Sunday, December 1st at the Honnestville Playing Field to mark the beginning of the church's year under the theme Anglicans Prepare for the Coming of the Lord through Intentional Discipleship. The preacher will be the Reverend Pauline Ramsey Burns out of the Diocese of Northeastern Caribbean and Aruba. It's the Anglican Advent Mission Service at the Honnestville Sporting Complex on Sunday, 1st December at 9:30 a.m. All are invited.
Why not just go to Gibson's Building Supplies?
Here at Gibson's, it doesn't matter if you're building, renovating, or just shopping to improve your home. Because this Christmas, Gibson's Building Supplies has all that you need. With 25% off selected doors and tiles, 20% off paint, and 15% off store-wide. Many more deals to come. So why feel like this when you can feel like this? So come on in to Gibson's Building Supplies today.
Search for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. Yeah. So play as much as you can. Want the prizes to be won. Set for life. A brand new house. Set for life. A brand new car. Set for life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for life. Did your day done set? Set for life. December 28th. Set for life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner, turn your own keys. Set for life.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz, Quartz Optical, Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
And now for a second look at the headlines. Victims of domestic violence encouraged to put their perpetrators to shame. St. Lucia Prime Minister expresses faith in longevity of the Citizen by Investment program. Turkey stalls NATO's Russia defense plans for Eastern Europe over Syria. And in sports, Cornwall takes spectacular 7 to give Windies the edge over Afghanistan in their inaugural test in India. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Rochelle Batiste. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also tune in for SVG-TV News in 15 at 12:45 p.m. weekdays. Have a good evening.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Honnestville. Call 453-9000.
Singer is a family store. We sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances. TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy.
range of furniture.
Right here at Singer.
Affordable beds and mattresses.
Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store
that gives you the best hire purchase deals.
Right here at Singer.
We'll outfit your home.
Right here at Singer. The #1 family store.
It's us with Singer.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting. For people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
You've been waiting all year long and it's finally here. It's the test of endurance, agility, stamina, and with the easiest terms, the most affordable payment plan, and nothing to pay until February 2020. You won't need your wallet. It's the massive Quartz Black Friday sale. TVs, stoves, fridges, mattresses, everything must go. On Friday, November 29th, starting at midnight. 24 hours of the biggest, craziest savings of the year. It's Black Friday at Quartz, Quartz Optical, Quartz Ready Cash. Unbeatable. No one does Black Friday better.
Flow is bringing you the best Christmas deals. Unwrap great prepaid deals like the ZTE Blade A3 Lite for $99 with a 7-day always-on plan purchase. Plus, get a free gift. Amazing postpaid deals start with a Samsung Galaxy A10s at $149 plus a medium postpaid plan with unlimited weekend minutes to talk this holiday. So this Christmas, get the latest phones at the best prices on the fastest network. Because with Flow, Christmas only gets better. Visit discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.